tragic and heartbreaking deaths of the wild animals that make us feel sad, as they do not die from being attacked by predators, but from harsh environmental conditions. As the beautiful actions of people in rescuing and helping the unfortunate animals trapped on failing into the natural traps will help them have more chances of survival. As a deer stuck on death in the snow. Of course, no animal wants to be in trouble or fall into awkward situations. However, life in the wild always hides the unthinkable, as you might think that deer will usually only be killed by notorious predators, but it is not. The harsh weather conditions are the dangerous weapon that causes the tragic deaths for them. As snow and ice covered the entire wasteland, but everyone's attention was on the red streak. It was the deer frozen to death and trapped under the thick ice. You see, snow and ice make it difficult for the animals to find food and survive. Some animals have developed physical characteristics to adapt to the cold weather, and when living in the popular regions, but some species cannot adapt, so freezing occurs. As the cold winter also affects our senses, and the cold causes the body's activities to become more sluggish, makes the wounds more painful than usual. As in the winter, animals also need food, not simply to fill the hunger, but also to keep their bodies warm. Having to move away from the living area to feed sometimes also puts them in difficult situations. And above all, they cannot call for help when in trouble. As this deer is probably extremely lucky to be discovered and saved by the kind people, as it's believed to be trapped on the broken ice in Lake Erie, and despite trying to best to rescue himself, the deer still could not move to the shore, and if not helped in time, it will surely freeze to death. Realizing the deer needed help, the rescuers quickly came to help. Even the people had to dive into the water to bring the deer ashore. And at first, the deer appeared scared, so the deer did not cooperate with the rescuers. However, people still tried to get the deer out of the cold ice and had warmed it to keep it from feeling cold. Even when the weather was very cold, the ice is very hard, but no one can be sure that the moving on ice is safe. Maybe under the hard ice is a river, and the stream is rushing, cause the ice to melt below, and most dangerous. When the lost in the hills and the mountains, covered with ice and snow on all sides, no animal can accurately determine its position, whether a glacier exists or not. That is also the reason why the deer often get stuck in the snow. As one thing is for sure, animals trapped in the snow and ice will be very difficult to free themselves without outside help, as the slippery ice will make it difficult for them to stand and move. This is completely understandable, because the friction between the foot and the ice is zero. Humans can move on ice easily, because we can control the speed and safety, but with animals, the opposite is true. They can only slide, but they cannot get up to move. And of course, if they wait for the ice to melt, they will surely die. As the two deer were discovered lying on the ice, they must have been lying here for a long time, because they could not even move. As immediately the kind people had rescued them by tying the ropes and pulling them to the shore. Thanks to the help of the kind people, the two deer have an extra chance of survival. Currently, the number of wild animals are decreasing and their habitat are threatened and narrowed. Part of the reason is due to the bad actions of people, such as hunting rare animals, cutting down forest. However, there are still objective causes from the environment that make them impossible and can react. People always think that people are often insensitive to things going on around them. However, out there are still many touching and humane stories that inspire you to believe that humans still have a certain affection for animals and still have the beautiful feelings between humans and animals. As a man is helping this deer out of the ice, he's trying to push the deer out. And amazingly, the deer was successfully rescued. But perhaps he was extremely grateful for his kindness of the person who had saved his life, because without help, the deer will probably die of starvation and exhaustion. We all know that wildlife is an extremely valuable natural resource, making an important contribution to creating ecological balance and ensuring a healthy living environment for humans, as they make life richer, diverse, and bring many benefits. So it is extremely necessary to protect and save the wildlife when they are trapped. Animals have feelings and emotions just like humans, so they can completely feel pain, cold, or loneliness. And most of all, they completely feel the love and the warmth that people can give them. As these two men are rescuing a deer stuck on the ice, they had to tie the rope and use all the strings to pull the deer out. Fortunately, the deer was brought to the shore safely, as it was able to find food and find its herd again. Hopefully this deer won't let itself be trapped again. As alone on the iceberg, the trapped animals have struggled and determined to overcome the challenges of the environment. But they still need help, as if an animal lower and always want to help them. Then perhaps when you see the images of the trapped deer, you will probably feel extremely sorry for them. Do you want to rescue them? Surely the answer is yes. This deer is lying on the ice with a sad face and seems to have been injured, so right now it probably wants to go ashore to feed. However, the slippery ice made it difficult for the deer to move on, as it had to use all of its strength to get it. But because he knew he was stuck there for a long time, it would soon be exhausted from hunger and cold and slowly die. But perhaps it alone cannot do anything. Unfortunately, a rescuer came forward and assisted the deer, and with his human's kindness and intense vitality, the deer was fortunately pulled and brought ashore safely. Survival in the wild is not an easy thing, as there are animals that are always unlucky to get trapped and die, but there are also deer that are lucky to have been rescued by humans. These are considered great acts, worthy of praise and study. That is to see that the natural world around us always has close relationships, wonderful feelings that sometimes people can't even imagine. As the animals are the same, they are also ready to help people when facing difficulties, as there is no reason for us to be indifferent to the difficulties that animals go through. as today our video ends here. Thank you all so much for watching this video, as there are many mysteries waiting for us to discover ahead, so please like, share and subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. And for now, goodbye, and see you in the next video.